We are live on Philly Hot Radio, Whistle. My name is Showtime the Hype Man, along with my co-host, Dr. Rock. So, good morning, Dr. Rock. So, how you been doing? How you feel? The audience want to know how you're doing, Doctor.
Oh, I'm great. I'm blessed. Matter of fact, I'm blessed. Dr. Rock in the house, and I had a great week this week, and we have some great guests. So I hope everyone's tuning in today to listen to the guest, which he has to say.
So, how was your weekend when you say you had a great weekend? Can you give us a little bit of
You know
feedback?
what my great weekend was so far?
What's that?
Rest.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I
Yeah,
know that
rest.
your activities are very, you're very active in the community and,
Yes.
and doing a lot of stuff. And we're amazing that all the energy level that you've been doing. So we know that, my name is Showtime the Hype Man. What I've been doing all week, I've been paying attention on my health and my spirit all during this week, Dr. Rock. And I have realized that listen to inspiration stories, it helps me to get through some things because Dr. Rock, you always helps me out
Right.
when I need some energy, and you always give me positive because I know you got my back,
Yeah.
and I'm so grateful for that. And you have showed me that your commitment being on a radio show, Philly Hot Radio, Whistle While You Work, you have been committed from day one. And I just want the audience to know that I thank you and I appreciate you coming every Saturday morning on your busy schedule, and I'm so grateful. But today's show, what we're gonna do, we're giving away a turkey basket
Oh, yes.
to the first caller, but you have to come to the radio show to pick up the whole trimming. What we have here, tell them what we have.
So what we have here is butterball turkey,
Butterball turkey,
rice,
rice,
Idaho potatoes, stuffing, yams, collard greens, green beans, gravy, cornbread, cranberry sauce, applesauce, Hawaiian sweet rolls, sweet potato pie, apples, candy, and turkey based. So call us. We got a call.
they call on that, that's not
Yeah.
that phone. So
Yeah.
what we're gonna do, I also wanna give a lineup, Platinum Entertainment is doing the 10-year anniversary of the R Stars of hip hop. This is going to be an outstanding show. And I'm going to tell you,
Yes.
Platinum Entertainment has been doing the hard work for over 40 years in the entertainment business. I'm so grateful to be a part of the organization and do what I can do to help Platinum Entertainment. So those who don't have tickets for the R Stars of Hip Hop, tickets are on sale. Ticket prices are $115. Will get you in the VIP, the after party. We have $95 seats, 75, 65, and 45.
Wow.
So we'll be talking more as the show. Also, November 30th, me and Dr. Rock
Yes. We will.
was going to be, let me tell you what happened, Dr. Rock. The facility heater broke.
Oh, wow.
So we're not, November the 3rd, those who have bought their tickets for the Women
Yeah.
on Fire, the date would be January the 18th. So they called me up today. So we want to announce it that show been canceled for Women Under Fire, stage play by Tanya Bank, has been canceled for November the 30th for next Saturday. So we want to, because of a heat system inside the church, they're not fortunate. They're in the process of doing restructuring, so we want to thank Tanya Banks for giving us a phone call for that. So basically, so now, what is the phone number for those who like to win? But the only way we're not going to deliver, you have to come to the radio show. You have to come to the radio show to get this whole Thanksgiving turkey basket. If you want this bag, this is the turkey ball. Look at this. See how big and pretty it is. Look at that. Philly Hot Radio, Whistle While You Work. So we have everything wrapped up nice. So what is the phone number? So what is the
phone number? is 484-477-6348. And guess what you get in the turkey basket?
What you get?
You get a butterball, turkey, rice, Idaho potatoes, stuffing, yams, collard greens, green beans, gravy, cornbread, cranberry sauce, applesauce, Hawaiian sweet rolls, sweet potato pie, apples, candy, and turkey baster. That sounds good. That sounds like a whole Thanksgiving dinner to me.
And also we have apples for the family. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a story about your Thanksgiving family that you can remember? Because it seemed like the tradition of Thanksgiving
it's
family,
not like it used to
it's
be.
not like it used to be
No.
because once the grandmother and the grandfather passed away in the family, we see that the family is not organized like it used to be when it comes. I don't feel this spirit on this Thanksgiving because my family, we're not as close. Everybody had their own individual family. But I remember when my mother, I'm from Winfield, you know. I want my audience to know that.
I'm from Winfield too.
Okay, good.
But you're from another part. You're from another part.
Oh,
of Winfield.
she always debates me when it comes to that Dr. Rock. I don't know why she does that. But I can remember my mother, my aunts, my cousins, when family was so close and we had less.
Yeah.
But what we want to do, me and Dr. Rock, we want to give this turkey basket for one of our audience that maybe you might know somebody that's fortunate, but only way you get this basket, you have to call Philly Hot Radio, whistle while you work. And the phone number again, Dr. Rock.
484-477-6348, and you have to come pick it up today.
Today.
If you today.
During the time of the radio show.
Yes.
So, okay.
No.
Well, when we get somebody, we'll deliver it to you. We'll deliver
We'll make sure we deliver it to you.
We'll deliver it to your
that's
home.
even better.
Yeah, we'll deliver it to Earl. We got our team here and director about. We deliver the whole basket to your phone. So those who like to win, to have a turkey complete dinner for next Thanksgiving Day next week, correct?
Next week is
Okay, good. So you can call Grizzly. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get into the show. We have an outstanding guest. I'm gonna let Dr. Rock introduce this young lady. She has a story. She has a testimony. I am so grateful that she's here.
Yes.
This amazing young woman that's on the stage, like someone is calling right now, but the phone, I didn't hear, but the phone rung.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. It's Mr. Tibbs down here in Jersey. Good morning, everybody.
Tim again. hey, Mr. Tim, how you doing?
Oh, man, it's blessed. It's blessed. Every morning we get up is a blessing. I don't take that for granted. God knows I don't.
Yes. You know what? You won. Guess what you won?
The basket.
Yes, you
Yes, you
did.
did,
You
Mr.
won the
Tibbs.
basket.
Yes, you did.
Well,
I don't know how we're gonna get over Jersey.
No, we have a plan. We have a plan.
No, you know what? I'm coming to Philly because I got a project I got to do today, so I'll be in Philly today.
So what
Okay.
I do, we'll give Dr. Rock the whole package, and her and Earl would have it.
Yeah.
We want you to take a picture with Dr. Rock when you receive your turkey basket goodies. Correct, Dr. Rock?
Yes.
So Dr. and Earl
Yes.
make sure that the photographer that follows behind Dr. Rock every day, every moment.
Things go straight.
So basically, man, we want to thank you, man. We hope that this basket, and I want to thank Diane Keys Keller for decorating. She did an outstanding job along with the team in preparing. It's important that we acknowledge the people that have done that took our hard work, and I know that she did a great job wrapping it up and the structure. So we want our audience to look at this. There you go. So we want to.
Yo, that is awesome. I appreciate that. I'm coming to Philly, and I'm going to donate that to a family that I know that could use that. So I thank God for Philly Hot Radio. You guys are awesome. God bless.
Okay, well, we got another caller.
We got another caller. Thank you so much.
But we want to thank you so much. Enjoy the bag and take a picture of the family too.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Okay, God bless.
Philly Hot Radio.
Hello.
Hello. Philly Hot Radio. Okay, here.
Can y'all hear me?
We hear everything you're
Yeah,
saying. Hi,
yes.
good morning. Welcome to Philly Hot Radio. What's your name?
This is Aisha, Curvy Princess.
Oh, okay. How you doing?
Good. I wanted to donate a Thanksgiving turkey to Philly Hot Radio.
Oh,
She wants to donate a turkey.
wow. That's so nice.
Wow.
So nice.
Well, Dr. Rock.
Yes.
So now, if another call in, we have another turkey just came in. Tell me how God works.
Yeah, God works in mysterious ways.
We really
Yeah.
appreciate that giving us a turkey. We want to understand that Philly Hot Radio, Whiskle, Whyte at work. We really appreciate all our audience, all our fans, and what you just did start the season that makes my Thanksgiving what it's all about giving.
Yes.
You just gave a lift today on this
Yes,
radio
you did.
show. Dr. Rock got so excited, her eyes lit up. I know Earl took a picture of that, but she really got excited. So what made you want to call up to give away a turkey to Philly Hot Radio, Whiskle, While You Work?
Oh, yeah, it's simple because God placed it on my heart, and this is what today will start my first annual from Kirby Princess Boutique giving away a Thanksgiving turkey, and I wanted to be the first one to call in to give a donation of a free Thanksgiving turkey because I believe in what y'all stand for at Philly Hot Radio, and I want to be a blessing to someone else. Because you never know what someone is going through.
Right.
And this will be an annual thing from Kirby Princess Boutique.
Okay.
She'll give you a whistle.
I'm gonna whistle for you. So is there any way to contact you?
Yes, 215-668-8691.
8691. Okay. And what is your name again?
Aisha Malloy, the CEO of Kirby Princess Boutique.
All right.
Wow.
Thank you so much. You're a blessing.
No, so are you. And so are you, Showtime.
Well,
and
thank you so
everybody
much.
who works for Philly Hot Radio Station. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so much for calling in. Also, thank you very much.
And God bless you for your whole season with you and your family.
Yes.
And we really appreciate
You
you
too.
from the bottom of my heart.
Yes, we do.
Wow. Thank you for calling up with
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
So, look
So,
at that.
you know what, let you know what my week was like, during the week. First of all, it was report card conferences for the teachers.
Oh, my nigga. Okay.
I mean, for the kids, getting report card. My kids did pretty good this, so far.
You think so?
They did pretty good, yeah.
What make you
They did pretty
pinpoint
good when
that?
it came to the academics.
Mhm.
Yeah. Behavior, we're working on the behaviors. But,
You are?
Mhm.
Yeah, because that's a lot of challenge, Dr.
Yes, it
Rock,
is.
that you go
It's a-
through.
yeah.
And you can easily bow out, but you've been staying there. So was the kids talking about Thanksgiving and what they were doing? Did y'all talk about that a lot?
Yes, oh, we did. We talked about Thanksgiving and giving, and I told them about, actually, I said to them, because they like to argue with each other, fight. So I told them, I said, this room is about love.
Come on.
We have to show how kindness to each other. So at the end of this year, when we finish in June, I want y'all to realize that it's about love. This classroom was never about hate, because they do a lot of arguing amongst each other. So, so they're learning that. So, and also with giving, giving and Thanksgiving, what Thanksgiving's all about.
Wow. Well, that's Dr. Rock. Like you had
Yes.
a very good positive weekend with the kids and all that kind of
Yes.
stuff. So I'm so grateful, Dr. Rock. But what we're gonna do, Doctor, we're gonna get into the show.
Yes.
So I'm allowing you to introduce our next guest.
Our guest will be Tiffany Whyte.
So Tiffany Whyte, before you get started, we wanna thank you first for coming out and on Philly Hot Radio. What we want you to do, we want you to relax in the spirit.
Okay.
It's important that you relax.
Okay.
This is your time for you to explore your journey
Okay.
to Philly Hot Radio, Whiskle While You Work.
Okay.
It's important that it's okay. Just be yourself, man. We want you to be yourself and relax. When Dr. Rock called me last Saturday, that's correct, Dr.
Yes.
Rock? I know Dr. Rock has good judgment, and for me, I'm still learning not judge people, whatever, but that's why when you first got here, I asked you some questions. It was important for me to find your spirit. See, I don't want to get into the dark. I want to get into your spirit. Because we all got a journey and we all got a testimony. And you talked about your bumpy road, but your bumpy road is called a great road. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your opportunity. What I want you to do, I want you to tell your audience, relax, because you got your sidekick on the right-hand side there, so you can relax. So I want you to explain it. Who is your mother to our audience? And talk about you going through the system. I want you to talk about the journey you went through, because it's important, because you are helping another woman or another female, another male in the world that may be struggling or afraid. You got a lot of heart, sister. And I want to know we love you on radio. So I want you to share and talk about your journey and how you found out that Janet Jackson was your mother, and how Janet Jackson was calling you and paying attention, but she never reached out. So this is your opportunity to show, and these are facts, ladies and gentlemen. This woman, this young lady, is Janet Jackson's daughter that's live on Philly Hot Radio, Whistle While You Work. It's your opportunity to tell the audience your story.
I'd like to say hello, everybody. Thank you for listening. My name is Tiffany Whyte. So how it all began, from what I was told from my social workers and my foster parents, I was left in the hospital, abandoned in the hospital when I was born. I stayed there for a couple of months because when I was born, I was not even a pound. I was on life support, a breathing machine, and a feeding tube, and I had a hole in my heart. I was very sickly. So they kept me in the MICU for about 3 to 4 months. After the MICU, a social worker was called from DHS, and they came and got me from the hospital, and they took me to an orphanage, a child orphanage. But they took me to a place where kids with disability, physical disabilities and stuff, because I was very sick. I stayed there for about a couple months, and I was removed because I was underweight and it wasn't taking care of me properly. So there, my social workers, DHS decided to put me in foster care. I was in foster care. My journey in foster care was not a good one. At the age of 3, I was raped by my foster brother. He was about 34. He had a son and he had a wife, and it happened to about 3.5 to like 4 years old. How they found out, I was in preschool and my private area was hurting, and the teacher took me in the bathroom and she told me to show her where it hurt, and when she pulled down my pants I had blood, and that's when they called my social worker and they rushed me to Children's Hospital, and there they found that I was raped. So they removed me from the house, but as far as I know, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened to him, but I was removed. Therefore, I went into other foster homes. In other foster homes, I was physically abused, verbally abused, had broken ribs, busted lips. They did not treat me well at all. I was severely abused. I was in 30 foster homes. And I just constantly moved around, like constantly. I never felt loved. I never felt wanted. A lot of my foster parents said, you're only here for a check. If I wasn't getting paid, you wouldn't be here. So you're just an income to me. They never really told me that they loved me, that they cared about me. Nothing. So in my journey in foster care, I felt very alone. I felt like God didn't love me. Nobody loved me. I had no hope. I had no future, because they constantly reminded me that I was worthless and I was trash. But that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. Eventually, when I was about, 16, 17 years old, I went into a group home. And from there, I graduated high school, and I moved on to college. I was in Scranton, PA, when I was in the group home. I graduated from Scranton, PA. high school, Scranton High School, and I went back to Philadelphia where I stayed in a group home. I went to college, I went to CCP, and I remained in a group home for about maybe 3.5, maybe 4 years. So I was going to college, I was working, I was doing my thing, I was my past was behind me. I wasn't really, thinking about my past. I was just a young girl working in a school. But I remember when I was about 20 years old, I was in my room, just came off of work. I was studying for school, and one of my house mothers came in and said, "Tiffany, I have something to tell you." And she was in tears and she was crying, and she was like, "I have something to tell you. Please don't be mad with me." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Well, you'll be 21 in about 7-8 months. But I'm letting you know you're not going to go to independent living. You're not going to go to housing. What your social worker wants to do is either put you in an institution for the rest of your life, sign you in an institution for the rest of your life, or he's going to drop you off at a shelter." And I'm like, "What?" She was like, "Yes, you're not going to go into a home. You're going to be homeless, or you're going to be institutionalized for the rest of your life. So on May 10th, on your birthday, you're going to go to court, and the court will dismiss your case, and you will no longer be a ward of the state. You will no longer be a number. You will no longer be a ward. They're going to discharge you. And from then on, it's nothing. It's going to be out of our hands." So she said, "If I was you, I would pack my stuff, pack my bags, and..." No, she said, "I would call a family member, call somebody to see if you could stay with them." I said, "I have no family. I have no friends. I don't have anybody. I have nobody to call." And she was like, "Tiffany, please look and see if you could find somebody." So when she told me, she gave me a hug and she was crying. I looked in all my phone book where all the people that I hung out with, went to church with, the foster parents I stayed with. Couldn't nobody help me. Couldn't nobody let me stay with them. Everybody turned me down and said, "I can't help you." So that night I left, packed my stuff, and I left. And that's when I began my journey being homeless. At 20 years old, maybe 20, I was homeless. I was sleeping on subways, trains, walking the street. I was eating out of garbage cans. I didn't have anybody. I didn't have nothing. The streets was my life. And at that point, I knew that God must have a purpose for me, that God must have a plan, and that God loves me because all I had to depend on was Jesus Christ. I didn't have a mother. I didn't have a father. I didn't have no relatives. I just had me and God. So on my journey being homeless, God walked with me. When I was hungry, God fed me. When I was cold, God gave me, he warmed me up, and I didn't blame him. I just knew that was my life, and that was something that I would have to go through. I always, while I was homeless, I wondered, where's my mom? Where's my mom? I want my mom. I want my mom. Where is she? Where's my father? Where's my family? Why am I going through this? Where is my family? Where is the help? And I know you're not supposed to question God, but I did. Mm-hmm. So after 7 years of being homeless, sleeping on trains, eating out of trash cans, sleeping on subways, sleeping on people's floors, going in and out of shelters, back and forth in shelters, I got tired. I got physically tired. And I just couldn't take it no more. And I thought about suicide a lot of times. And I said, "You know what, Lord, I really, really don't want to live anymore. I'm tired. I have no place to stay. I have no place to lay my head. I'm a wandering spirit, a wandering soul, and nobody's helping me." So one day I was staying with a friend. And I was volunteering at a shelter, a women's shelter for women and kids, because, my heart goes out, to women and kids who've been abused and who are homeless. Even though I was homeless myself, I still worked in a homeless shelter. And one day I was at the office, and I seen a number, it said housing. A name and a number. And I said, okay, I'm going to call. So I took a break and I called the number and I said, is this housing? They said yes. Do you have any apartments available? They said yes. I said, well, right now I'm currently homeless, but I volunteer at a homeless shelter for women and kids, but I'm in need of housing, and I need housing like ASAP. Please, ASAP. And they said, well, come in the next day, bring all your paperwork, your social security card, your birth certificate, everything, bring all your paperwork, and we'll see what we could do. I was so happy. I started giving God the glory and the praise because I knew God was going to bless me real good, and I knew that housing was for me and that number was meant for me to find. I went there the next day, gave them all my paperwork. They ran my credit, and they told me they would call me the following day. I got a phone call the following day, and they said, Tiffany, you are approved. You can move in your place within 3-4 days. I said, are you serious? They said, you will no longer be homeless. Your 7 years of homelessness is up. And I said, are you kidding me? They said, no, we have a place for you, and it's downtown Center City, 2-bedroom, kind of like a condo, 2-bedroom. And they said, you could see it. So I went and I seen it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You're on a roll, you're on a good roll, and you're really sharing great. I want to give you that you're doing a great job, and not that. The audience want to know, how do you feel for being a homeless woman out there in the city of Philadelphia? And you talked about crying to your mother, crying to your father. How was that feeling to know that you got your own door and your own key? You know, I think that our audience would love. Can you tell our audience how that feeling when they told you? Because I heard you, and I felt good for you when you said that. It put a smile inside of my body and my heart. How do you feel when the first time you know you got your own place? This shit a joy to the audience, because we hear the sad part, but sometimes it's important to show the joy part you talked about. So tell them how you really felt.
Well, I felt really Go
ahead, sister. We happy for you. Go ahead.
I felt really good. Oh my God. Thank you. Yes.
There you go.
I felt really good. Like when he met me, when my landlord met me at the apartment, and he turned the key in the door.
Go ahead, sister.
And I walked up all those steps, all those, like, you know about all them flights of steps.
That's that cardio.
Yeah. When I walked up all them flights of steps, and I turned my key, he said, "Here's the key. This is yours." And I opened, yes, mine.
Wonderful.
Yes, he said, "This is yours." And I opened up the door, and I seen this big, huge, beautiful apartment, 2-bedroom. 2. Yes, 2.
So it was so bad, he gave you 2 rooms.
Yes.
You always believed in, you said you prayed the whole time. You always believed in God. So, you ever heard the saying, it's going to be better days? Mm-hmm. Better days are coming? Mm-hmm. So that's what you were going through. Better days were coming. So now you're happy because, you got everything you wanted at the time. You said, God, why am I going through? You questioning God. But like you said, we're not supposed to question God. But you were questioning him and asking, what am I going through? But he was trying to let you know we have to go through some things to make sure we keep our faith. And you went through what you went through, and guess what? God see that you did keep your faith, so you didn't give up. So that showed that you was right on the point that God, you're going to turn us around.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Dr. Rock. And the reason why I asked you that question, because it's important that our audience and those who are watching us around the world, that it's important that you share your joy, because you talked about the journey all the way up to getting that key. And what God did, he gave you 2 rooms. So did you go sleep one room one day?
Yes,
I'm gonna switch that room one day. And I kind of figured that out.
I did.
I'm glad that you did that. So what we want to do now, I want you to talk about the first time that you found out that you was Janet Jackson was your birth mother. I want you to talk a little about that right now, because you talked about the journey, you talked about a lot of good stuff, and you was raw, and you didn't cut it, and I like the way you did that. For those who are watching, this is Janet Jackson's daughter. The superstar Janet Jackson, daughter, is live on Philly Hot Radio, Whistle While You Work. I want the audience to see your journey, how so many celebrities hide and got children in the world in foster homes because of their star status in the industry and the pride and embarrassment of some of our entertainment people in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who are watching us and the viewers are watching us, we have an outstanding guest that's been through some trials and tribulation. And Janet Jackson, if you're watching us somewhere in LA, your daughter's live on Philly Hot Radio, Whistle White Word. Tell the audience when you first knew that Janet Jackson and you know that Michael Jackson and all the Jackson family, you did have a big, large family, and God kept you around long enough because you wanted to suicide, you wanted to be here, but God kept you around long enough.
Yeah.
I know that
Thank
God
you,
kept you here long
Thank you,
enough
Lord.
to find out who your birth mother was.
Yes.
Tell people a little story how you found out that
Thank you,
Janet
God.
Jackson was your
Thank you,
birth mother.
Jesus.
We have a caller, Dr. Rock. Go ahead and answer.
Thank you,
the phone.
Jesus. Hallelujah. Thank you, God.
Philly Hot Radio, Whistle While You Work.
Yes, my name's Timothy Merritt, and I'm Tiffany Whyte's cousin.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Jacksons.
Yes.
Yeah, from the Jacksons.
Oh,
My dad is Marlon. Her dad, her mother is supposed to be Janet.
wow. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So we like to thank you and happy Thanksgiving. Sorry that you
No problem.
sorry you didn't win a
Thank
turkey,
you.
but but we want to thank you for calling in, and we really appreciate you calling in. What can you do on the feedback of our guest, outstanding guest, and it took heart for her to come on this radio show?
Yeah.
To really talk about a lot of children maybe being celebrity status but never knew because of the entertainment world, and a lot of the children get stuffed in these foster homes and never identify who their mother is. Can you help our audience and our views and help us why you called this station? We really appreciate you helping out her and giving us also our radio show a good lip today. We're really so grateful for your phone call. Can you talk a little bit about your story?
No problem. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys also. Basically, I just think it's wrong for both my father and her mom to do us the way that they have done us throughout our lives, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And if you believe something, then go for it. I mean,
Marlon Jackson is his dad.
So Marlon, when you found out that Marlon Jackson was your father, how did you feel in watching these celebrities and hearing these music and watching these superstars at the time? How do you feel now that they banding some of these children like that?
I think it's wrong. I think it's neglect. I mean, just because you got money or fame or whatever the case may be, that's not supposed to just take you away from your child. I think it's wrong and it never should have came about.
Right.
My Janet should have been in her life and my dad should have been in mine, and it's painful. It's just not right.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. I mean, because y'all didn't ask to be here. You're here now, so it's like I understand where you're coming from.
Exactly.
Yes. All I can say to both of you is just keep it in prayer, because things will work out for both of you.
Thank you.
Can I ask you one more question while you're on here? Do you got the talent and the gift of the Jacksons, some of the singing activities of inside your genes? Because what is your gift?
My gift is sports. I'm more into basketball, baseball, football, sports, stuff like that. But I can sing a little
she loves to perform. My 15-year-old daughter who loves to be in the limelight.
Wow.
She loves entertainment and
There you go.
stuff like that. So it kind of dwindled down to her, and I love entertainment, being on television, and doing stuff like that also. So.
But how did you contact Tiffany? How did y'all contact you and Tiffany?
Through Facebook.
Facebook? Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hi, cousin.
Hello, how you doing?
How you doing, cousin?
Yeah, y'all first cousins.
Y'all first
First
cousin.
cousins, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. We want to thank God.
Yeah, thank you.
We want to thank you and really appreciate
No problem.
for y'all. And we want to thank you for calling Philly Hot Radio, Whistle While You Work. We want to thank you and Tiffany merging together. And we want to wish you, man, a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we want you to continue to raise your daughter. And I know you're going to do a great job with your daughter. We're looking forward for your daughter being a superstar. And she loved the prom. She liked being in the light. That's the Jackson bloodline. So we'd like to thank you so much, calling. So, Tiffany, anything you want to say to your cousin before he leaves?
Thank you, cousin. I appreciate you calling. I appreciate you vouching for me, and I love you.
Oh.
Love you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for calling. Let me ask
No
you a
problem.
question. One more. Where are you located?
I'm in Los Angeles, California.
Oh, okay, great. Wow, wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much for calling up. Really outraged.
No problem. No problem. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys also.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, wow. We Dr. Rock, we on something here on Philly Hot Radio.
Yes.
Now, I want to get to you. Have you ever been in Janet Jackson concerts?
No.
Okay. You said something when you was coming here. You said that Janet Jackson was monitoring you, but on the outside, but not really. She was watching your whole situation the whole time, and that guilt. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, maybe Janet, what they relate to Jehovah's Witness?
Yeah.
Okay, did I get that right?
Yes.
Janet Jackson, Jehovah's Witness.
Mm-hmm.
Janet Jackson, if you're watching us, or someone in their organization watching Philly Hot Radio right now, you have a chance, because this woman, Tiffany Whyte, forgave you and forgave her father. She's looking up here stronger than ever. The oil that's on her right now.
Yes.
I am watching every time we talk about Janet Jackson, you are morally coming out. The spirit of Janet Jackson is live on Philly Hot Radio, Whistle While We Work. Talk about when you found out that Janet Jackson was your mother, and how seeing someone that's a celebrity in the world and being in a celebrity named family, but been hidden through the court system, the adopted system. You're just looking so marvelous right now with your little glitter, your little Janet Jackson looking like.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you have the skills as an artist?
I can sing, act, and write. I auditioned for movies and got accepted. I auditioned for plays, was in plays. I recorded in studios and stuff. I started, and I write my own music.
If Steve Harvey, Oprah Winfrey, any of the BET, anyone that's in the industry that do authors and books, we have a dynamite story and a testimony in the movies right here.
I wrote a book.
And you wrote a book.
So it's coming out next year.
I want you to tell our audience a little bit when you found out that Janet Jackson was your mother.
Okay. So it's actually one night I was in my room, and I was crying out to God. I was in my new apartment, whatever. I was crying out to God. I was crying out to God, and I said, Lord, please, God, show me my mother's face. Show me in a dream. Show me in a vision. Show me my mother's face. And I was crying out, like really pouring out my heart to God. And that night, I had a dream. Michael Jackson had a bow tie, had a blue tight suit on with an afro. He was sitting down with a sad face, with a sad look on his face. Joseph Jackson was in the background with a grin on his face. And Janet Jackson was in a garden with her arms open out, and she said, Tiffany, I'm your mother. I really am your mother. It's me. And she said, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I'm your mother. And she had tears in her eyes. And I stood there. And I was just looking at her. Then I woke up and I started screaming. I said, Lord, I told you to send me my mom, but you sent me Janet Jackson. And I heard the Lord say, but she is your mother. You asked me. And I replied. So that morning I was going to therapy. I had a session with my therapist, and she said, Tiffany, what would you do if God was to let you see your mother or bring your mother back in your life? How would you feel? I said, I'll be happy. How happy? She said, are you sure about that? I said, yes, I'm sure. She said, are you sure? I said, yes, I'm sure. She said, okay. So after the session, I went home. I was on the phone with my sister, Crystal. This is my foster sister. And I got a text on my phone saying, hi, Tiffany. This is your mother. And I said, my mother? And she put the lady on my birth certificate, which is really not my mom, but she put the lady on my birth certificate. I'm not going to say her name. But then I got excited. And she said, I'm your mother. And I was like, oh, my God. She said, call me. And I had Crystal in a three-way, and I said, hello. She said, I'm your mother. Hi, Tiffany. But I have to tell you something. I'm a singer and a dancer. I'm a performer. I'm famous. And I said, famous? I said, you couldn't be my mother. That's not what the social workers told me. She said, I'm your mother. She said, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I'm sorry, please forgive me. She said, I want to send you a ticket to California, and I want to give you money. I want to give you a lot of money. And she said, I promise you this time I'll make you very happy. She said, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I was young. My father made me do it. She said her father or her parents made her do it. She said, I have a lot of regrets. She said, I know you were abused in foster care. She named my bruiser's name. She said, I knew you were homeless on the streets. She said, I had people watching you since the day you were born. She said, I know a lot about you. And I'm just here to make amends with you. And when she said my abuser's name, which I blocked that out and forgot, it brought back a lot of memories, a lot of hurt and pain. And I got mad and I lashed out on her and I cussed her out. I laid her out, and I said, I suffered when I didn't have to suffer. I've been through a lot because of the poor decision that you made that you thought was right. But I do forgive you. And I said, well, what is your favorite song that you ever wrote? She said, it's called Missing My Daughter. She said, I miss you so, so much. And I love you. After taking everything all in and really not believing it, but having a little hope and believing it because I didn't know what to believe, I fell into a deep, very bad depression. Very bad depression. And one night I was in my room and I said, Lord, this woman is saying she's Janet Jackson. Oh, she told me that. She said, if you don't believe me, take the test with the DeBarges. She said, take the test with the father and the mother. That's what she told me to do.
You're saying that DeBar is your father?
Yeah, well, she told me to take the test. I'm gonna get to that. But she told me to take the test with the DeBarges and his mother. She told me to find them, take the test with them. But that night, I was really, really depressed, and I said, Lord, I'm going to kill myself. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't know who this woman is. She's giving me flashbacks, nightmares, and dreams about my past. I can't take this. So that night, I overdosed on all my medication. I was found by my landlord. I was on the floor face down for 4 days. I was found by my landlord. He was doing an inspection. They found me. He got a female neighbor. They called 911, rushed me to the hospital. There, I was in a coma for 4 months and on life support. I was brain dead. I was paralyzed. And because of the medication that I took, I had third-degree burns on different parts of my body because I had developed something called John syndrome or something they were saying I was burning inside. I had an allergic reaction. They had contacted my foster sister and they said, listen, Tiffany's not going to make it. She's been in a coma for 4 months. We want to have you sign papers to pull the plug. She's not going to make it. If she wake up, she's going to be a vegetable. She'll never learn how to walk, talk, nothing. She's brain dead. There's nothing we can do for her. We want to pull the plug. So she went home to my foster mom and said, Mom, this is what they want to do to Tiffany. My mom said, God is slow, but he's sure. He's going to wake Tiffany up. He's going to wake Tiffany up. Within 3 weeks, I did wake up from out of a coma. I woke up from life support. The doctor had tears in his eyes. He said, Tiffany, I want to serve the God that you serve because you are a miracle. He said, I didn't believe that you were going to wake up. He said, I didn't have faith. He said, but whatever God you serve and pulled you through it, I want that same God. And he had tears in his eyes. And all my doctor said, you were a hot mess. You were basically dead. My kidneys and liver shut down. I had no functions on my kidneys and liver. Everything was shut down. So after, the tubes came out of my mouth and everything, and they moved me on another floor, they put me on another floor where I was going to recover. The next day, the nurse was on her cell phone. She was bathing me. She was on her cell phone. She was rushing. She got off the phone, and She ran out. I fell out of the bed. For some reason, I don't know how I got up because I couldn't walk. I fell out of the bed, hit my head, twisted my neck, and went back into a coma for 3 weeks. And I did wake up. So it was rough. I mean, I had to go to physical therapy. I had to get nurses take care of me home. But I made it. I'm a survivor. Yes. I made it. I'm a survivor. I didn't let that,
Where did you get this faith of God? Hang on, woman that been through the bumpy road in life. Mm-hmm. Your testimony, like on Philly Hot Radio, Whiskle, Why You Work, is a great testimony. And I've been hearing a lot of testimony, a lot of journey. You are an amazing Black woman.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our team on Philly Hot, we love you. Yes. I want you to know that even the producer and that arranged this whole show, he's excited. I can see that because he's jumping, so that's a good thing. I want to know how, in spite of all that you've been through and that you went through the doctors, and I want to know that God that you serve too. And I know him because I'm feeling you now. When I asked you some questions, I had to feel your spirit. See, as me being a host and Dr. Rock being a co-host, we always feel our audience and those who come here also on this platform as our duty and their job. You are doing an exciting job because I told you to relax, didn't I? Mm-hmm. And you're doing a great job. You're very relaxed. You're so relaxing and have you put your little lip gloss on? That's Janet Jackson doing it. I tell you, that's we want to get to the peanut butter and the whole basket of Thanksgiving dinner now. Boy, so those who are watching us right now, and I want you, for those who are watching us, and we're about to turn it up right now. Yes. See, what y'all might thought you heard, we're about to take this interview on a whole new level because it's important that we do that. Because the world is watching, and this is documented on YouTube channel around the world. And what we are doing, we're reaching out. And for those who like to call up,
call up at 484-477-6348. 484-477-6348. We have a great guest today, and she's talking about a lot of great things, and I, definitely want to hear more.
Why, Dr. Rock?
Yes.
Well, let me say, Dr. Rock, you are amazing, God-fearing woman. Yes. And I know you're a gangster. Me and Earl know that.
Oh, I know that. So that's only if I have to get with y'all. Y'all men.
Earl don't know that. So
you and Earl knows that, okay? I'm glad you and Earl know that.
So me and Earl knows that. So, and then Diane, she's a gangster too, in her own way too. Cause I just say some things that messed up the whole Thanksgiving dinner, so I better get it together.
Diane,
so, so what I want to say to you, when are you, after you came through that whole process, God is good. Let me say this.
Amen.
To go what
Yes,
you
he
went
is.
through
Amen.
as a woman. And we know in this country, 46,000 women are missing in this country today.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing little kids from 2 to 14 are being missing today. We're seeing celebrities are having babies because of their, at the time, I believe that Joe Jackson understood the business even when Jermaine, when he got married, it would mess up how the industry at that time, his father did not want them to get married because Joe understood what the Jackson 5 was really trying to do. God has allowed you to give a testimony. He kept you around,
yes,
even though your kidneys and all that went down. But don't tell me God ain't healed. Look how healthy and your face and you're glowing.
Yes.
You are an amazing black woman.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
want you to know that. I love you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you have family here on Philly Hot Radio, Whistle
That's
while
right.
you work. You are our new
You are our family.
So
Yeah.
when did you started to build that energy back up? And have you reached out to Janet Jackson, because you don't know what she went through and what she went through. And I learned that we have to forgive. And I believe that we got to find a way for y'all to share her story, her testimony live and open up the world, because God kept Janet Jackson around for a reason too. Your dream did not lie to you. So
you also tell us about your father more so.
Okay, how I found out. Okay, how I found out. So after I got out the coma, one thing I did remember that was Janet was texting me, and the reason why I was in a coma was because of suicide. So something told me to reach out to Adelina DeBarge. We were Facebook friends. Me and Adelina DeBarge were Facebook friends, which is my grandmother. And I reached out to her and I introduced myself, and I just poured out my heart, because I've been knowing her for probably 6 years before we was talking, but before I even told her who I thought I really was. So I reached out to her and I told her everything. I told her that Janet Jackson reached out to me. I had a dream. She said she was my mother. I told her that I believe I'm your granddaughter, and I believe that James DeBarge is my father. So she said, so you have any proof? I said, the only proof I had is the dream that God gave me and the texts that I had from Janet and the phone call. So I sent her, she said, well, send me the information. I sent her Janet's text. I sent her the pictures Janet sent me, and I sent her her phone number. So she said, well, the proof is in the pudding. Give me a DNA test. I said, well, yeah, Janet wanted me to do that too. That's why I'm reaching out to you. She said, well, give me a DNA test. So first I was skeptical. I said yes, but then I changed my mind a couple of days and I said, no, I'm scared. I'm not going to do it. Never mind. She said, Tiffany, we come too close. I'm getting old. I don't want to die. Take this to my grave. I need to know if you're my granddaughter. A lot of girls reach out to me, but the test is negative. They're not the one. It's a bunch of crap. I need to know if you really are the one. Your story's on point. So we did take a DNA test. She took one in Michigan. I took one in Philadelphia. It was the same, clinic. Within about 2 weeks or so, she called me. I was in my room, and she called me. She said, Tiffany, do you know who this is? I said, yes. She said, no, do you know who this is? She said, you do not have to call me Mama DeBarge anymore. You call me grandmother. I just got the test results, and you are my granddaughter. 96.7 or 90-something point, 97.6. Yeah, 97.6. You are my grand. We took a grandparentage DNA, and I had tears in my eyes, and I said, Grandma, I told you, I'm your granddaughter. So I called the DNA test lab, and I talked to the guy, and I said, is this really, really true? He said, Tiffany, you can't get no closer than higher than that. He said, you are high. He said, yeah, he said, this is your grandmother. You're her granddaughter. He said, it's true. He said, we checked it 3 times. And She's your grandmother.
Do you see? And I want y'all to catch what she just said, my audience and those who are watching us. If you see the bloodline with the bar of their behaviors with addiction, abuse, then you see your bloodline with the Jackson family of your oil creating your strength, which is the reason why you survived, because you had a bloodline that had balance. And the reason why you would survive out there in the streets for 7 years because of your bloodline and your balance. And the reason why you're going to survive, see, let me say something. 2020 going to be a great year for you.
Amen.
What you're doing, you have a testimony and a story. And thank God that you are willing now to do what you do live on Philly Out Radio. We are so honored to have this interview, and I think that this has been one of the most, since we've been doing this, by us being consistent. Now, I want to talk about your voice. I would love you to sing, if that's, is it all right?
Do you have any more that you want to let us know first?
Yes.
We're gonna do a commercial break, and we're gonna come back. So those who are watching us, we're gonna do a commercial break. We're gonna do a commercial break and come right back. So stay tuned.
Thank you. Yeah, I got my
Janet Jackson's daughter is live on Philly Hot Radio, Whiskle, Whyte. So what we're gonna do, she's gonna sing. What we did was, we set you up there. Your mic is over there. We want you to go there. So we want you to go there live. We have the microphone set up. We are doing commercial break right now on Philly Hot Radio. So about another minute. So if you want to dial up a little bit, relax a little bit.
I got a little bit more to say.
Yeah, I know that. Okay. Yeah, we know
So what you want me to sing first or talk more? Sing and then talk more?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, we got about another 30 seconds. You know, this has been a good Thanksgiving treat for all of us. So what's going on, my viewers? I see that you're watching. So at this time, we're going to allow her to get ready, prepared. So we want you to sit back. We want you to relax a little bit.
Emma Instrumental. What's that girl's name? Oh, God. Mom, I tried. What's that one to sing? Boot up, boot up, boot up, ba-do, boot up, boot up. No, what's her name? Yeah. I don't know. Oh, this is my cousin from my grandma's side. Okay. She just called me. I think she watched. Oh my God. They called me.
All right. I love it.
Yes. LMA instrumental songs. Why is it Diana Ross?
Oh yeah. So what we're doing, ladies and
LMA
gentlemen,
instrumental songs.
Yeah.
So what we're doing, we are preparing ourselves to see a blessing. This is a treat.
Texted.
Yes.
Mom texted this.
On Philly Hot Radio, live
LMA
in the
instrumental
studio
songs.
right now.
Type it. LMA instrumental.
Janet Jackson's
L-
daughter is live on Philly Hot Radio. We have a phone for those who like
What
to
is it?
call up live to get a chance.
ELLA
484-477-6348. You can call up.
So Dr. Rock, so what are you feeling? Can I see you over here?
Yes.
I know, but it's not coming up.
I think it's a great story, and
It's kind of
you know,
soundproof
I
here.
just need us, everybody to tune in to what she's saying, so they can feel it, what she's going through. So
When you called me last Saturday and everything you asked me to do, I did. You got to make sure that the studio, that everything is playing right, everything is set up right. It was important that we make sure that this interview will go right. What made you? Because you was on me this week to make sure everything was right, and I appreciate you really, because this is one of our good interviews.
Right.
So what made you really be on point is when you heard a story and you called me and I told you that we shut this down for her, and
Yes.
we did that.
No,
So
I
tell
just
me-
wanted to make sure everything was right, because it's sometimes, we have technical difficulties, so I didn't want that to happen for her program, because she has a story, and she's a blessing, and was coming out, her story is a blessing. So I just wanted us to make sure that everything is great, and everybody all around the world be able to hear the story. So, and her story actually is taking the whole radio station time. So I just wanted us to plan it where we can hear her story, because I have met her. We were eating all you eat buffet, and we were talking, and she told me some of her story. And just to hear some of her story just brought tears to my eyes, and it brought tears to my other friend's eyes. So, just to hear her, so I just felt like, let her come out with it. Sometimes you need that outlet to come out and talk about things that make you feel better inside. So I just felt like that's good. We're going to invite her to the radio station. So she was very excited. She couldn't even wait to come. She was like, I can't wait to come there, so I can tell my story.
So Dr. Rock,
Yes.
you hit some great pointers, and what I like about Dr. Rock, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are watching me, Dr. Rock,
She found it.
so many people you had helped out that what most people will judge, and you never judge no one. I like that about you.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do, we are setting something up special for our audience, Dr. Rock. And it's important that,
Yeah.
so it's important that those who are maybe tuning in, that we're setting up some things right now to make everything on point.
It's gonna be this one.
So what else, Dr. Rock, that what made you, how would you feel this whole week when you already heard the testimony? What you was going through this whole week when you knew that Janet Jackson's daughter was coming on this radio show?
I just look. I just felt. Sometimes you never know what a person's going through. So that's my. You never know. To me, that's why I always say treat people the way you want to be treated, because you never know what a person goes through. A lot of people go through things. You heard her story, right? How she was homeless. She was a kid. She was young. She was raped. So just to hear those type of things, you just have to stay prayed up, because you don't know. You might think everybody is living good and living well, like you can see her now, and you would never think she went through those things. When I look at her now, I never would think she went through the trials and tribulations that she had went through. So just to hear it, and just to hear it, so I just couldn't wait to hear her come on the station to talk about it.
Wow.
Yes.
For me, to hear her testimony, and because sometimes I question God too, and you said that, Dr. Rock, that not to be disrespectful to God, but sometimes I do the same thing too. Because so many things that I'm doing, but I have to learn. You always tell me, don't worry about people. Just do you.
Yes.
And I realized that all the time, Dr. Rock, that I was meeting people and I thought that why everybody see me and I'm doing so many things. So it's important for me to continue this journey, what we are doing. So what we're doing in the meanwhile, the engineers and the sound crew is getting everything together. So what me and Dr. Rock doing, audience, we just keeping the lights and everything moving and making sure everything is on point. So I want to thank the person that called and won the turkey basket.
Yes. Congratulations to Quentin. Quentin, Jersey.
So what we ready to do, we're about to take another commercial break live on Philly Hot Radio. Okay, so we'll be back, audience.
Yeah.
Testing.
Testing.
So you're ready to watch. We're about to go live on the air. So ladies and gentlemen.
Come on. Testing, testing.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live on Philly.
Let me turn my phone. Does this go higher? Does this go higher? Okay. How you do it, Mom? Don't go higher. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, love, my love. I regret the day you went away. I was too young, my love, to understand my love. But now I regret my mistake. I sit and wonder, where are you now? Now that I'm ready to love you the way I should have then, where are you now? I was too young, my love, to understand my love. I sit and wonder, where are you now? Where are you now? I'll keep searching for you. I'll keep looking for you. I'll keep searching for you. And when I find you, when I find you, baby, you don't know what you do to me. Oh, baby, you are my everything. I miss you. I love you. I love you. I miss you. Gotta wear you now. Where are you? I'll keep searching for you. I'll keep praying for you. I'll keep looking for you. Where are you now? Thank you. And that was Janet Jackson's song she wrote a couple years ago. It's called Where Are You Now?
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Standing ovation.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Just amazing. Sweetest song.
Turn your phone. No, keep it, push it to the side. No, push it to the side. No, turn it to me.
Okay.
No, put it. Because yeah.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Outstanding vocal and chord, outstanding pitch. You are gifted. Your you're going to be a star now. But what we have to do, it's no more turning back no more. I'm going to put on the show, and I want you to be the future of our show. Philly Hot Radio, we are setting up in January, February, and I think that it's time for you to come out.
Wow, confirmation.
Start singing again. So what we're going to do, Philly Hot Radio, we're going to market you, me and Dr. Rock, and along with he got a chance to join in with us. What we're going to do, we're going to put a show together, and I want you to be our feature act. Now, let me ask you a question, and then I want you to get into the story. Legal-wise, are we allowed for you to do, because they can't take no you that you got documents 97.5 97.7. Okay, I want you to make that clear to my audience. So thank you for saying. So let's get back into your story where you left off at when you found out your father was the bar, and we know that Janet Jackson at that time, his father didn't want Janet Jackson to mess with the bar at the time. So your story, your documents and facts are truth. I want to make that clear. So tell our audience when your grandmother told you, that you don't have to call me mama, you call me grandma, because 97.6 is actually so. After that journey, before you started singing, that's when you started talking about that. But we asked you to sing because, we're getting closer to closing our show. But we want you to talk about a little more, elaborate on that. And Dr. Rock has something to say for Dr. Rock, if you do.
Yeah. No, I just, I'm just, everything I hear you up there and, what you've been through, there's blessed. I mean, you really, like you said, better days was coming, and they came. So,
Yes.
Your story just touches me. It just touches my heart, Like I said, you never know what a person's going through.
Yeah.
So you can also, finish up what you were telling us.
Okay. Well, after I got the DNA test from my grandmother and everything, she had got lawyers. She sent me. I went to go see her. I flew to Michigan to go see her. I spent like a week with her, and I met some of the family. Of course, some of the family was skeptical. Well, not the males, but the females. One of my Aunt Bunny. She had a lot to say, and she even had an interview with Inside Edition, trying to disgrace me and my grandmother and make it seem like I'm a liar.
Okay.
So she wasn't in my corner. At first, she was in my corner, but when the DNA test went out to the world, when my grandmother exposed it, then she kind of turned on me. But I want to get this straight, and I want to let the world know these are facts. I need to say this. A couple years ago, after my grandmother went out with my story on Inside Edition and said that, with the DNA, y'all had got another DNA test with my dad and said that it was 0. The media said that my dad's test was 0%, that I wasn't his daughter. That's not true. That's a lie. This is what happened. When my grandmother got the lawyers, the only reason why she got the lawyers was because she was going to try to get Janet to take, a test with me also. This is what happened. One of my uncles, I'm not going to say his name, I'm not going to expose him like that, but one of my uncles, the lawyer says, since my dad was not willing to take a DNA test up front, one of my uncles came up, stole a cigarette and a Pepsi bottle from my dad and sent it in to my lawyer. My lawyer sent it in with the lab. My dad was a cigarette and a Pepsi bottle because my dad refused to take the test. When they sent it in, the DNA people called me and said it was a match. Whose ever cigarette and soda bottle, it's a match. Okay, your match. He's your dad. It has because it matches. So then the lawyer said that's not good enough. We have to get a mouth swipe. So the first mouth swipe my dad did, it was positive. It was positive. Okay, it was positive. Along with the cigarette butt and along with the Pepsi. Okay, the DNA that they found on it, it was positive. What happened was my grandmother was told not to put my DNA test out to the world. by the lawyers, and she did. So as soon as she did that, then the lawyers came up with a plan and said that my dad's test was 0, which it was not, and I was a liar. How in the world is 0 when I have that's his mother, and I have her DNA? So how am I related to him? And we took the test with him, and it was positive. So I want the world to know that me and my dad's test was positive. It was some messy, grimy stuff going on. Some lot of dirty stuff. He is my father. His mother is my grandmother. Now I just have to see if Janet is my mother, which I believe she is. She told me, but I still need a test with her if she's willing to take a test. Like, I'm not a liar. I don't want any money. I don't want any financial gain. I'm not here. I'm not here to make anybody feel bad, to get any money, to do nothing. When Janet offered me money a couple years ago, I told her, I don't want your money. I want you. Your money doesn't move me. Your money doesn't shake me. I'm not impressed with your money. That's not what I want. I want you to be my mother. So for all the people that called me ugly, when they showed my picture to the world, they said I was ugly, I was fat, I don't look nothing like Janet Jackson or James. But here's the thing for the smart people out there. DNA is different. Genetics is really, it's something. You don't have to look like your mother or father. It can skip down to the grandmother. If you see Edeline DeBarge, James's mother, I look just like her. Her family says it. And other people say it. If you see some of Janet Jackson's pictures back in the day, some people say I favor her. So her side of the family. Like, I've spoke to the Jacksons. I speak to them, and I speak to the DeBarges. Some of the Jacksons said, Tiffany, if you're our family, we will welcome you. But Janet's going to want a DNA test. We could do it. For she's the one who contacted me. Like, I'm not here to lie, to run game on nobody, to make it all about myself, because it's not. See, I'm here to tell my story. I'm here to tell my story, and I'm here to give you facts, and I'm here to give you truth. See, I'm real. I don't sugarcoat nothing.
Can I say something, Dr. Rock? And before, because we got about 8 more minutes, and we're gonna close this. Mm-hmm. When I was listening, my spirit told me the truth. I looked at your color. I looked at Joe. I looked at Jermaine. You have the color of the Jackson family, what Michael Jackson looked like, Janet Jackson. And a lot of people don't know that you wasn't happy as a child. And when you're not happy, your blood in your body, that was weight of depression, that weight on you. Mm-hmm. Your weight, now that you're happy, you're gonna lose. Same for me, because I watch my body. When I'm happy, my body goes that. So your body,
phone.
Yeah.
It's saying trying to connect.
Yeah, but your body shut down. Mm-hmm. And all them years by you staying on that 4 for 4 days, by you being in a coma for all the time. Mm-hmm. So you was right on point when you said that when DNA don't lie, but they gotta know what you've been through. So we're about to close this interview. What do you want to tell Janet Jackson? Janet Jackson, I'm asking you to give this young lady an opportunity to prove to the world what happened to her. And you know, in the dark days that when it hurt you, this little girl that was took from you somewhere in California, I don't know where, at Indiana or whatever. It's important.
Jesus.
That Janet Jackson, all I ask of you, to give her that blessing and that information that she needs so she can move on. She said she want no money. She don't want the star static. This little girl that was a little girl, and I watched this good woman at front of my eyes, went live on YouTube on Philly Hot Radio, say she don't want no money. Yeah. She just want to find out from her mother. Yes. We asking you, for those who are watching us around the world, and I'm asking Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z, and all those who empower in the entertainment world to close this gap in this story for this young lady so she can move on. But Janet Jackson, you're about to see your daughter go live around the world performing. We're coming.
Yes.
So before we close, I want you to do a closing mark. Then I'm gonna let Dr. Rock have a closing mark. Then we're gonna close this this show.
Okay. One thing I forgot to say, my birth certificate. I found out that my birth certificate is false. I got a lawyer. My original birth certificate I cannot get. The hospital is not on my copy. I don't know where I was born, what hospital, because it's not on there. The hospital's not on there. And when my lawyer tried to get my original, they said you have to stand before a judge and go to court because my records are still. They cannot give me. They can't give me my original. I have to see a judge and get court ordered. I don't have my real. I can't get my passport. I can't get nothing because my birth certificate is fake. There's no hospital. There's really nothing on there. And I was told I have to see a judge. So that's what does that tell you? What does that tell you? So. Yeah, I want my original birth certificate. I need my original birth certificate. I want to know what hospital was I born. There's no name. I don't know where I was born. So what I want to say to Janet.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, baby.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I want to say I'm not mad with you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I'm not mad with you. I forgive you. I understand, based on the circumstances, that you made a choice. Not saying it was the right choice, but you made the best choice that you thought was good for me. I can't imagine the pain that you're going through with losing a child, having a child snatched away from you and never really seeing her. So I forgive you. I don't want your money. I don't want fame off for you. Because I have talents, I can make my own money myself. I just want you to please come forward. Come forward. You can Facebook me. On Facebook, my Facebook is Tiffany Whyte, Tiffany, last name Whyte. Email me. My email address is whyte623@gmail.com. Again, whyte623@gmail.com. Reach out to me. Let me know that my living is not in vain. Let me know when God brought me through the coma that was not in vain. Make God's promise come to pass.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Make God's promise that He promised me since I was a little girl. Make it come to pass. Don't make God out of a liar. Don't make God out of a liar, Janet. Please. You have a song called Come Back to Me. You have a song called Where Are You Now? You have a song called I Should Have Known Better. There's a little girl that I left all alone. And she doesn't have a home. I guess I should have known better. You wrote that song. And you said, why? You have a lot of songs. You have guilt, you have regret. If you don't want to come out in the public, because I know there's a lot of shame, embarrassment, you want to lose your fan base. I understand that. Come to me privately. You did it before, right? But I rejected you because I didn't believe you. And I was hurt. I was that hurt little girl, so I didn't receive you the way I should have. But now that I took the DNA test, both tests, and it's positive, I believe you now. So please, Janet, come forward. Have your lawyers, if you can, your lawyers, your team, somebody reach out to me so we can get acquainted with each other and I can see you face to face. My dying wish before I leave this earth is to know my biological mother. See, I want to feel you. I want to hug you. I want to kiss your face. I want to tell you I love you. Let me be that daughter. Let me be that daughter that I know I can be to you. Please.
So touchy. Your boy, I just felt everything you were saying. And I just want you to know that, like you said, it's not about money, it's about love. If you don't have love, you don't need the money, because you need love. Love. To me, love is more important than money. Money come and go, but love will always be there. So if Janet, if you're listening to her, it's not about money, it's about love. every woman, look, I have a mother that's still here. You know, everyone, you know, every woman, every man, you know, we all have mothers and fathers in our life. Some mothers are here, some mothers are not. But at least, you know, you want, like you said, before you leave this earth, you want to know your mother. You want to touch your mother. You want to feel your mother. You want her to give you that motherly advice, you know. So, you know, it's a blessing that you came on today to tell us your story, because I felt your story, you know, and I believe that because you said what you said, all the stuff that you told us on live, it's going to come to pass. And you're going to see your mother, and she's going to come out, because I believe that she's looking now and listening to you. And I believe that she will come forth, because she knows that you will love her, and she loves you. I believe she loves you also. You know, but we're going to keep that in prayer, because that's the only answer is prayer.
Right. Well, we want to thank our guests, and we want to thank Philly Hot Radio, Whiskle, Whyte. It was a great interview.
Yes.
We want to thank y'all. Tune in next Saturday at 10 o'clock. Janet, if you're watching, or any of the Jackson 5, we want to thank this awesome woman of God, God-fearing woman, coming in live on Philly Hot Radio. We see you next week at 10 a.m. My name is Showtime, the Hype Man, along with Dr. Whyte. See y'all next week.
Bye.